All right, this video is going to be on the College Algebra Support Assessment Quiz. Okay, so the first question, there's 10 questions. Graph the equation by plotting points, and it's y equals 6x minus 9. All right, so what we're going to want to do here is just go to our y equals in our calculator. Type in 6x minus 9 and graph it. Now, we're going to graph this in MATLAB, which means I'm going to need some points. So I'll just hit my second button and then my table button and pick any points. Let's see, I'll pick, 1, -3, and 2, 3. So 1, -3, and 2, 3. So 1, -3 is to the right 1, down 3, and then 2, 3. So to the right, is that right? Yeah, 2, 3. So to the right 2 and up 3. Now remember, once you put that second point in MATLAB, it'll automatically connect your points to draw the line. Okay, now remember how we did that? We came over here into the toolbox and you're going to pick that line tool and then it's going to ask you to plot 2 points. Now remember, you'll be able to see up in the top where your cursor is. Right? So you want to make sure that you're at 1, -3 before you put that first point. Okay, number 2. Solve using the addition principle. -21 equals x minus 11. So all I'm doing is getting the x by itself, which means get rid of the -11 with a +11. So x equals -21 plus 11 gives me -10. Right, number 3, multiply r plus 4 times r plus 5. So I'm just foiling here. So my first, r times r gives me r squared. My outer, r times +5 is positive 5r. My inner, 4 times r gives me positive 4r. And my last, 4 times +5 is positive 20. Your terms in the middle are like terms, so you can put those together. So you have r squared plus 5 and 4 gives me 9r plus 20. Number 4 gives you the equation of a line, y equals 6x plus 8. It wants to know the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, now the slope of the equation is, this is in mx plus b form already for us. Y equals mx plus b. The number hooked onto the x is your slope. So your slope is 6. And then next to the y-intercept, it has an ordered pair with a missing y. That's your y-intercept, the number in the B position. So 0, 8 is your y-intercept. Right, number 5 says find the slope of the line, and you're given 2 points. The 2 points are, sorry, I took a picture of it because I don't have the printout. That's all. 2, 1, and 5, 10. And it wants me to find the slope. Now remember, the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if each of these is a point, that means each point has an x coordinate and a y coordinate. If this is my first point, I'll call those the 1s. If that's my second point, I'll call those the 2s. And then I'm just going to plug those numbers into the formula. So my second y is 10. Now, minus, because that's what the formula says, my first y. My first y is 1. Then do the same thing in the bottom with your x's. My second x is 5. Minus my first x is 2. And then we'll just do that math. 10 minus 1 gives me 9. 5 minus 2 gives me 3. And 9 over 3 is 3. So the slope of that line would be 3. All right, number 6. Six says to factor the trinomial t squared plus 10t plus 21. So it's a trinomial, so I'm going to factor it into 2 binomials. To get t squared, I will need t and t. Now remember, these last numbers are going to need to do 2 things. Multiply to give me 21. And at the same time, add to give me 10, which would be a positive 7 and a positive 3. So this one says to solve. Well, this is a quad, right? It's s squared. So I can go to my quad program, go down to quad. And then enter your A, B, and C. A is in front of s squared, so it'll be 1. B is in front of s, so it's 10. My C is the constant, which is 25. Look what you get. -5 and -5. There's no reason to duplicate this. The only solution to this is -5. If you didn't have the quad program, then you would have to solve this by factoring, just like we did on the last problem. S and S for s squared. Numbers that multiply to give me 25 and add to give me 10 are 5 and 5, both positives. That's why you only get one solution, because when you factor this and set the factors equal to 0, they're literally the same equation. So if you subtract 5s here, you would get s equals -5. And it's the same thing here. So you don't enter the same answer twice. The only solution to this problem is -5. Number 8, use synthetic division to divide. Okay, so before we can do synthetic division, we're actually going to be dividing. This is a factor. I need the 0 from that factor. So I have to solve it for R. So R equals 4. 4. That's what you're using in your synthetic division on the outside of the division symbol. Now remember, what comes inside are the coefficients of all these terms. So 1, -8, 32, and -13. Then remember the motions of synthetic division. You'll drop down that first number. 4 times 1 gives me 4. Combine these. -8 plus 4 gives me -4. So now I have 4 times -4, which gives me -16. 32 minus 16 is 16. Now I have 16 times 4, which is 64. So when I add that together, -13 plus 64 gives me 51. So that's your remainder. So what I need to do is remember these numbers that are left down here are the coefficients that are left of a new polynomial starting 1 degree less than this one. So this one will start off with r squared minus 4r plus 16 with the remainder of 51. Number 9, translate to an algebraic equation. It says 29 more than y. So you can either write y plus 29 or 29 plus y, either way. All right, last one. Solve by removing factors of 1. So we're going to factor and then cancel on this last one. So I've got x squared minus 8x plus 7 over x squared plus 8x minus 9. All right, be careful factoring here. Right, they're both trinomials starting with x squareds. So x and x. So now I need numbers that are multiplying to give me +7 and at the same time adding to give me -8. First of all, there's only one way to multiply. You're going to have to use 7 and 1, right? But if those are going to add to -8, they're going to both need to be negative, right? They still multiply to +7 because -1 times -7 is +7. Okay, now I'm going to also factor the denominator. Again, x and x for x squared. So now think about your signs. I'm looking for numbers that multiply to give me -9. If you're multiplying to get anything, you're going to have opposite signs. If you're multiplying to get negative anything, you're going to have a positive times a negative. So I'm looking at the factors of 9, and I'm trying to get an 8 using different signs. Well, look what 9 minus 1 is. So the 9 has to go with the positive. The 1 has to go with the negative, which means the x minus 1s cancel. So you're just left with x minus 7 over x plus 9. And that's it. That'll help you go through your support assessment quiz.